Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel where I dive deep into influencer culture and call influencers out for their crappy behaviors. Today I have a bit of a different one for you guys. We're looking at a recent viral moment where a mom was approached by a stranger and asked to quiet her baby down. I actually heard it this morning on the radio and I was like, I have some thoughts that I would like to discuss with you guys. So let's go. Okay, so like I said, I heard this on the radio this morning, and essentially what they were saying was this mom was at a restaurant and out with her children and got approached by a stranger and asked to quiet down her 8-month-old. Now, I definitely, like this commenter, see both sides to this story. I really do, and I am compassionate to both sides. I just want to have a discussion about what you guys think and how you guys think that this should have been handled. So I have pulled up here V on TikTok. She has 8,000 followers, 930,000 likes, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. I'm a mover. I don't know what that means. Homeschool, travel, and eat. Now, I really didn't do a deep dive into her content because we're just really going to be discussing the recent viral moment, which is this video here. And the caption says, POV, I'm just an overstimulated mom who wanted to eat out. He literally walked up to me and told me to tell her to be quiet. I said she's a baby and he said, well, don't you just leave with her? I have sensitive ears. What the helly? And her video here got over 6 million views and people are very divided. The internet is very divided down the middle as to whether she should have gotten up and left or the other patron should have just gotten up and left. So let's take a look at the viral video now, shall we?
So this gentleman here is telling me to tell my 8-month-old to stop screaming because he has sensitive ears. I know it's loud, but he's an adult. He can leave, and he chooses not to leave. He's choosing me to tell me to take my baby out because he has sensitive ears.
You need to learn to be respectful.
She's a child, sir. It's not me. I didn't do anything.
You're causing this whole restaurant to have to hear our discussion. They don't want to eat that. They want to eat their food.
You came to me about my child, did you not? You're speaking for other people that haven't spoken, and the only reason I'm furious about it is because you came to address me about an 8-month-old.
You're forcing everyone in their
I'm not forcing any. I didn't tell the baby to talk. I'm happy that she has a voice, and I'm happy she can speak because there's children out here that can't even speak. That's nonverbal. So I am grateful for my child to be able to have a voice, and that's not up to you as an adult to chastise me or to whoop me because my child is speaking. You can't remove yourself from this restaurant. No, you're disrespectful, you're entitled, and you're being privileged right now because there was nothing in this world that made you feel like you can come say that to me about my child, and then you're upset that I'm reacting. I'm reacting to your response. There are nonverbal children out here, and you want to sit here and act like I'm supposed to suppress my child's voice?
I'm not responsible for the way that men have probably mistreated you in the past.
Men? I'm a happily married woman. What are you talking about, baby? I'm 10 years next week. Clap it up for me. That's what you can do. So no one has mistreated me. You've been disrespectful. I didn't accuse you. Have I ever said racist? Did I say racist in here?
I was talking down to you because of privilege.
No, I said privilege does not equal racism. Let me educate you for a second, sir. Privilege, hold on, no. Let me educate this man. No, let me educate him because he just said I call him racist. I never did it. I said privilege because you're being an adult and you're expecting me to remove my child when I patronize this restaurant just like you. That is privilege. You're expecting me to put yourself over everybody else in this restaurant. It's not a thank you, but you realize how disrespectful it is, right?
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm so livid.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because I totally understand. Like having kids, it can be hard, and like sometimes it's hard to like get them to listen to you when they're not even able
It's not
to
even
like.
that. I can tell them she's 8 months.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying like I'm sorry for like having the confrontation and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's anything is your fault. I totally understand. Yes, ma'am. I get it. So I'm just trying to calm the.
We're already leaving, so it's not a
Yeah,
thing.
so that's why I'm not even making a big deal.
But I'm mortified. I'm not gonna lie to you, because as a parent,
like, yeah, I understand. Like I have.
that's telling me I gotta go in my house and never come out with my children, all because he's an adult. He can actually leave. If he felt it was uncomfortable for him, he didn't have to come and speak to me. He could have left. And then he's speaking for other people in the restaurant, making it an uncomfortable experience.
Yeah.
That would help.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yes, ma'am.
And I come here a lot.
Yeah, I know. I see you all coming here a lot too.
Thank you.
I'm thankful, and every time you come here with your kids, I never
And
had
I've
a
seen
problem.
other people with kids and they yell and we felt bad. But when we seen the other family coming with kids, we realized this was a family establishment.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we
And I
never,
never say anything
and that's why
about
we
it.
come back.
And I never say anything about
And you
it.
don't. And thank you for that.
Yep. So I totally understand, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience and the situation that you're in. I'll to go this for you. Yes, ma'am.
Whoa. Okay. I didn't see that entire video. I didn't see any of that video, frankly, this morning. I just heard about it on the radio. So I only heard the first 5-10 seconds of that clip. I didn't realize that she went hard on him. Oh man, I have so many opinions and I don't even think I can think of all of them right now because that was a lot of information. So, all right. First off, what do you guys think? Do you think that it was out of line for this man to have approached her and been like, hey, can you keep your baby down, please? Obviously, we don't know what that interaction was before, right? We just know that something happened and she whipped out her phone and started recording. Now, that's the part where I feel like the plot gets a little lost because I understand recording for your own protection, for your own receipts and all the things, but to whip your phone out at the first sign of any type of confrontation without trying to de-escalate, without any type of empathy towards what the other person might be feeling or anything like that. I find that that's used more often than not nowadays as an intimidation tactic. And I don't think it's okay. And not just that, but you have other people in this restaurant who are just sitting there trying to eat their food. And these people are yelling across the restaurant at each other. Come on, stop. This is so immature. This entire thing is just a very immature exchange on both ends, in my opinion. But you have people who are being recorded against their consent. There's no blurring on this. I'm going to add blurring because I don't think that people need to be blasted all over the internet against their consent, especially when they're just trying to enjoy their lunch. And I don't know. This interaction is so weird, but if we take it to the comment section, we have this person saying how she has 2 kids herself. I have 2 kids, and when my babies were crying or being too loud, I would remove them until they calmed down. It's rude to assume that everyone is okay with kids or babies screaming. I try to be considerate of others. And that's a big thing that I feel like is kind of lost nowadays is consideration for others. It's always this strive to be right, this strive to prove the other person wrong without considering that, hey, maybe this can be triggering or bothersome for some people. But as this commenter said, a child-free life doesn't mean a child-free world, right? Children are allowed to exist in this world, and they're louder and they're messier and they're chaotic as they're learning to be respectful humans. But that's also on the parents, which this commenter said, well, people need to raise well-behaved children, and I think that would cut down on the irritation. Too many allow their kids to run rampant with no consequence. And that's just it. From forever, I've always thought that you keep children at your spot. If you're going to go out to an establishment, it is a very important learning opportunity. It's a social activity for children. If you're going to go to a restaurant and sit and eat there with children, but allowing them to run around the tables or run around the restaurant while other people are trying to just be there and enjoy their meal. Allowing your baby to scream those high-pitched screams repeatedly instead of trying to correct the behavior. And now while she's only 8 months old, she might not fully comprehend you saying, shh, you're being too loud. She might not fully comprehend that, right? But this is how we learn and grow as human beings. And it can start at as little as 8 months old. But instead of trying to correct the behavior, unless the interaction was worse after this, right? Again, we don't know what happened leading up to this point in time. But if you're not going to be a little bit remorseful that your child is disrupting other people and try and correct those behaviors, if you're automatically going to get on the defensive, I don't know, and whip out your phone and start recording people against their consent. I know that, you're in a public space, so consent and yada, 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 but it's a really weird spot we're in as a society that people think that they can get away with whatever just because they whip up their phone and say, I'm going to put this on TikTok. And it went viral. So now these people are framed looking like assholes on TikTok against their consent because this happened to go viral. And we don't know what the interaction was. And her sitting there just like ramming down his throat, like, yeah, he could have been totally rude and disrespectful, but these people don't have a platform to come and speak out and stand up for themselves, you know? But I don't know. I think that if you take children out to a restaurant, like I have problems with my brain, right? I've been open and honest with you guys about that throughout this journey. And I am a very avidly painful people pleaser. So this and my kids acting like this would affect me because I would be hyper aware of the fact that it's bothering everyone else. And I know that's just on me and that's my stuff to deal with, and not everybody's like that. But I think the total lack of consideration for the other people that are there just really sucks. And especially because that guy was trying to just be like, no, like, I'm just saying, it's about respect. Like, you could have just gotten up and distracted your child, held your child, whatever, tried to correct the behavior, or at least apologized for her being loud. Like, yeah, she's learning. Yeah, she's only 8 months, but a little bit of that empathy, I think, would have gone a long way in this situation, which we just didn't see. If you're in a restaurant and your baby starts screaming, you do the decent thing and get up and take the child outside. Don't bother everyone else. And that's where a lot of people are sitting in this matter. And that's kind of what I just said. It's about respect for everyone's experience, right? Now, she says in the caption, she's an overstimulated mom. Imagine you are an overstimulated, oh my gosh, I can't talk. You are an overstimulated mom going out on a date with your husband for the first time in months. In months, child-free, you've been ripping your hair out because you're overstimulated, and you go to the restaurant and this is what you have to sit through. Now again, a child-free life doesn't mean a child-free world, and I still agree that children deserve to exist in this world. But people also deserve to enjoy their time without a child screeching like that. Because me too, I get super overstimulated, and especially auditory overstimulation, it's a really big thing that affects my body, and it triggers a response in my body when I get the auditory overstimulation. Like, it's not just this, oh my gosh, that's too loud. Like, it's actually a stress response that gets triggered. So I understand where this guy's coming from, being like, yeah, but she's screeching constantly, right? And I also understand where people are coming from when they say, well, children deserve to exist in this world. I have a gaggle of children. I know that. But I also know that as parents, sometimes we need to make sacrifices. And sometimes that sacrifice is not being able to go to a sit-down restaurant. If you're not going to teach your children right from the get-go that we sit down at restaurants and we are calm and respectful of everyone else's experience, then maybe you don't go to restaurants. Does that mean that she needs to stay locked up in her house? No, absolutely not. It doesn't. But it means that you need to adjust. Maybe go to a more child-friendly establishment. This thing has marble tables and bar stools against the window. It is beautifully decorated, right? It's not a McDonald's, and it's not like children aren't allowed there, but it's not necessarily set up and geared for children. And does that mean that moms need to miss out? No, of course not. But if you can't control the volume level of your baby, then maybe bringing your baby isn't the best thing. You have a husband. She's going on 10 years in a happy, healthy marriage. Go to lunch with your friend when your husband's watching the kids on the weekend. And if he's not willing to do that for you, then I think that's a conversation to have with your husband, right? I don't know. And then there's this person. Yes, I agree, but you do understand that this is an 8-month-old baby, a baby that cannot conceptualize it's being loud, and that's bad. The baby is not angry or sad, just excited and happy. You cannot reason with an 8-month-old to be quieter unless you scold and discipline that child into being quiet. And I disagree. I think that giving attention and distracting the child is a very good way to keep the child quiet, reminding the child, like, shh, quiet voices, we don't scream, and starting it now. Babies are smart. They can understand what we're saying, even if they can't understand and follow multi-step directions. But correcting that behavior instead of just ignoring it and letting it happen repeatedly, I don't know. I really don't. And again, We're missing the whole first half of this video. So we don't know what happened. We don't know what that initial interaction was, of course, but I don't know. It's pretty sus to me that she just like whipped out her phone and then was berating this guy, calling him privileged, calling him that, and calling him all these things, and showed little remorse to how she's ruining his time too, right? The door swings both ways. Yes, this adult could have gotten up and walked out. And frankly, like she said at the end, they were getting ready to leave. So why are you making a big stink out of this and whipping your phone out and causing this big scene? Probably mortifying your friend that you're sitting with. You know, it's a really weird dynamic. And I just think people are way too comfortable whipping their phones out at every little, like they use it as a defense mechanism, thinking that it's okay to scare people into submission, essentially. And I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's okay that people are so comfortable just putting everything on social media to make someone look bad. Even if they're being an asshole, like if it's not inherently harmful, I don't know. And maybe this was inherently harmful for her. I don't know. I can't say, but I can understand how she would just want to get out and go and enjoy her meal. But I also think that correcting the behavior of the screeching is important to do from a young age, right? And if that baby wasn't getting the attention and was like attention seeking through this screeching, then that's something that the parent needs to work on. Raising respectful kids is effort. It's a process. And then the other two children were just like running around in the middle there. Like, so we don't have control over those two older children. They're running around all over the place. The baby is sitting there screeching. What was the interaction leading up to this? How long was this going on before that guy was like, yo, this is too much. This is too much. You know, everybody's paying to be here, but if you're actively ruining it for a large number of other people, it just, I don't know. It's yucky in my opinion, but also I get it. She's a kid and it's not like she was crying and the mom was ignoring her, but I see both sides. What do you guys think? Do you think the mom should have done more? Or do you think that the people should have not said anything and just walked out, or what? And I am so curious as to what the interaction was before this. And those poor other people. Someone screenshotted the woman who's sitting right next to the couple that complained and was like, this unbothered queen just wants to eat her lunch and go home. Like, legit though. I hate conflict and confrontation and stuff, especially if it's in person. I would be so uncomfortable. Not even being a part of this situation, just sitting there, I would probably get up and leave. I'd be like, no, something's gonna happen. I'm peacing out. Like fight or flight, I am flighting that shit. But I don't know. I think they're both in the wrong in this case. And I think that everyone could have handled the situation better. But I'm so curious to hear your thoughts. Please post them down below. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe before you head out. I hope you are having a wonderful, lovely, fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.